What up, guys? Carolina Jackpot time coming at you Friday. Means it's September the 9th, 2022. I hope everyone's doing well. Big slate of college football tomorrow. Later on today, Carolina Jackpot's going to be doing a picks against the spread video for you on the games tomorrow. But right now, I wanted to focus my attention on the Barnyard Battle, which is going to be taking place tomorrow about noonish Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Central Time, between the Gamecocks and the Arkansas Razorbacks. South Carolina traveling to Arkansas for the first time since the 2013 season. It's been a while. It's the first time South Carolina and Arkansas have played since the 2017 season. South Carolina has won, I think, the previous 3 matchups with Arkansas. However, this year's team looks to be a bit more formidable than those versions were. The 2012-13 ones we played under Steve Spurrier were not real good. And 2017, same thing. That was the last year of Brett Bielema in Arkansas. So a lot of changes have taken place there since then. Actually, Arkansas got worse after Brett Bielema left. The Chad Morris experiment didn't work out too well for him, so they brought in Sam Pittman, the offensive line coach from Georgia, former Arkansas offensive line coach. At the beginning of he came in the COVID year, 2020, and went 3-7 that year. They had like 3 net close losses. So, yeah, a little bit better than the record indicated there, and that showed last year. Team went 9-4, won their bowl game 24-10 over the Penn State Nittany Lions, and they're just really on an upward trajectory there. So South Carolina, look at this game Saturday. You know, you got two opponents here who's really kind of unfamiliar with each other. I don't know that plays more into the advantage of one than the other. South Carolina right now is currently an 8.5-point road underdog. I think it opened at 10. And it quickly went down to 8. Now it sits around 8.5. And everywhere I look, all over YouTube comment section, all over Twitter, everybody's like, I can't believe it's out. Hogs going to beat them by 14. Hogs by 24. Hogs by 31. Yeah, I mean, what are you basing this on? I mean, what are you really basing this on? Is Arkansas a good team? Yes, they are. But I mean, you have to be kind of wary of these teams that get really good. And let's be frank about it, Arkansas is not really good. They're pretty good. They're a top 15-ish team. You have to kind of worry about them if you're one of their fans. Is this, for real, or is it a farce? Is it a fluke? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on Saturday. By no means am I calling Arkansas a fluke. I'm not calling them a fluke, but you just got to wonder. But just looking at them in their game against Cincinnati, Arkansas, first half, both those teams were very sluggish. Just looked pedestrian as shit. Now in the second half, they kind of opened it up a little bit. There was some more scoring, and Arkansas won the game 31-24. If you took Cincinnati as a 7.5-point underdog, you would have cashed in on that. They didn't cover the spread. But I don't know. I was kind of looking for Arkansas. I was kind of thinking they would win that game by a little bit more than what they did. Cincinnati lost a lot off of the team that went to the playoffs last year. I mean, they lost a ton. Quarterback Desmond Ridder, a ton of their offensive production, a ton of guys on defense. But they looked extremely disciplined and well coached, that being Cincinnati. So I don't think that they're a team that just necessarily reloads every year. And their quarterback, who looked, I mean, he was decent. I wouldn't say that he was, he wasn't top notch. He kind of torched the Arkansas secondary a little bit. I mean, medium range passes, receivers running wide open in space, and Arkansas defensive backs having to come up and bring down ball carriers. They tackle pretty well in space. Did miss a few, however. So that's something that we could, possibly South Carolina could possibly exploit. Supposedly, there's a player, a couple players, defensive backs that are not going to be playing in this game. Slushy's his name. They ain't not going to be playing. So I'm assuming Big Gulp's not going to play either. So they're missing Slushy and Big Gulp in the defensive backfield. I'm not sure what kind of impact that's going to have on things. But I'm going to tell you right now, South Carolina with Spencer Rattler, throw everything else out the window. Okay, throw your stupid Uncle Lou video out the window, who absolutely doesn't know what he's talking about. But to be frank, there's people who actually said, if you're going to put this here on Twitter, at least tag at Uncle Lou and crazy Uncle Lou and tell him to his face. Okay, I have no problem telling him that to his face. I have no problem when he calls into our call-in show, bantering back and forth. It's shit talk, okay? It's shit talk. It's not like, I'm trying to throw hands with the guy. I mean, it's just college football trash talk. I just happen to disagree with the point. Anyway, I got off a tangent there. South Carolina is not going to beat Arkansas running the football. They're just not. South Carolina's offensive line, I looked back, I watched some more of the game. On some passing plays, that pocket broke down, Rattler had to kind of elude some pressure there. Sometimes, though, believe it or not, that offensive line protected him pretty well. And when he did, he was able, those were the throws that he was able, he nailed every one of those on target with every throw when he was well protected. When he was well protected. His interceptions that he threw, he was not well protected. So I'm not going to blame the offensive line for everything that goes wrong with the football team. But I don't think that they're going to be able to open up sufficient enough holes against this Arkansas defensive front for anyone to probably rush for over 100 yards. I just don't think it's going to happen. Marshawn Lloyd, and once again, that was another one that Lou said looks terrible. He doesn't look terrible. He looks good to me. He looks a heck of a lot better than he did last year when he came off of that knee injury. Christian Beal-Smith should be available to play for the Gamecocks Saturday. Does he go for 100 yards? Probably not in his first game coming back from an injury. I doubt that would surprise me very much. It would be surprised if he got enough carries to get 100 yards just coming off of an injury. But we'll see. I think this is a team that you could use Juju McDowell to kind of exploit the weaknesses in their secondary a little bit. I would think Jaheim Bell should be able to have a big game tomorrow for South Carolina, as athletic and Swiss Army knife type player that he is. I think he should be able to do something. I just don't think you're going to be able to ground and pound the ball and beat Arkansas. You're just not. Spencer Rattler and a medium range passing game, running a little bit here and there with a little bit of play action type stuff, just to keep him honest. And we know he can throw some nice deep balls. I don't think you're going to beat Arkansas with a deep ball. Medium range passes, getting these receivers, getting the running backs out of the backfield out in space a little bit, getting the ball to them, making Arkansas's taffy defensive backs come up and make tackles. That's how South Carolina will be successful in this game. Did I say taffy? I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I meant slushy. Arkansas, on the other hand, defensively, South Carolina they looked better to me against the running game on Saturday night against Georgia State than what the stat line bears out. Yes, they let Georgia State rush for 200 yards, but Jamias Williams broke a 40-something yarder, and the guy last name Carroll broke a 40-something yarder. You take those away, they rushed for about 110 yards on about 30 carries. It comes out to a little bit over 3 yards a carry. And I know big plays are part of the game, Jackpot, but I'm just saying that could be one missed tackle. That could be one missed tackle. That could be one guy not getting off of a block. That could be one thing that could be corrected in the film room and in the practice facility that may not happen against Arkansas. Do I think Arkansas's rushing attack is probably more formidable than Georgia State's? Yes. I think Arkansas is definitely more physical. I think their quarterback, George Jefferson, I think he's definitely more physical. And I think that their running back, Rocket Sanders, I think he's really good. I think he's a really good player. He's explosive, as his name suggests. And I heard that George is going to be in even better shape this weekend because Rocket Sanders had him lay down on the couch flat and he walked on his back. Yeah, most of you Carolina Jackpot channel watchers probably won't get that reference. But at any rate, he's a big, tough guy, hard to bring down. Second on the team last week in rushing. Rocket was over 100 yards. So for that reason, I mean, I think South Carolina is going to give up some points, guys. I just do. But, you know, on the flip side, I think that South Carolina has the opportunity to put some points on the board. If the play calling's better, okay? The play calling has got to be better than what we saw against Georgia State. Marcus Satterfield devised a pretty good game plan. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on here. He devised a good game plan, in my opinion, in the Duke's Mayonnaise Bowl win over North Carolina. Now, I know they didn't want to be there, Carolina Jackpot. I mean, come on, North Carolina didn't want to be there. That's the only reason anybody who's an underdog wins a bowl game is because the favorite didn't want to be there. This game, to me, seems very Mayo Bowl-esque. It seems very Mayo Bowl-esque to me. And that nobody's really giving South Carolina much of a chance. Talking about a very explosive quarterback who can do some things with his legs as well as his arm. Hey, KJ Jefferson had an 81 quarterback rating last week. 81. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the SEC. You forget it because he had a high quarterback rating. Yep. Through week one, anyway, he is. I don't think anybody's expecting South Carolina to win it, and I think people are expecting them to get blown out, even though the line continues to drop. There's a reason it continues to drop. I think South Carolina plays well, and I think that South Carolina actually has a chance to win this ball game. I said the other night, last night, I think it was on video, or Wednesday night, that I'm taking South Carolina in this game. Straight up, that's a money line sprinkle. That's a money line sprinkle for you. Take South Carolina straight up in this ball game. I think Arkansas probably thinks that even though they're not used to South Carolina, it's not a team they play often, that they're going to have their way on them just based off reputation. I think something's going to click. I think something's going to click in Little Rock or Fayetteville, not Little Rock. They don't play. They play in Little Rock anymore. I don't know. They used to split their games, and they started playing one game in Little Rock, and then they don't play them anymore. I don't think. Something's going to click in Little Rock. This, to me, and this is what I've been waiting on. And I thought that we saw it in that Mayo Bowl game, but last week kind of took me back to maybe we haven't yet. South Carolina has got to cross that bridge. Shane Beamer has got to lead these folks across that bridge, that mythological bridge. Man, it's time to leave the Will Muschamp era behind. It's time to cross the river. Go across the river on the other side from the Will Muschamp era. Put it in your rearview mirror and never revisit it. Never revisit it. Save the special teams punt blocks the other night. You still look like you were in the Will Muschamp era. Last year, you looked like you were in the Will Muschamp era in about 9 out of your 12 games. Will Muschamp is gone. He's not in Columbia anymore. Let's stop playing like he is. Let's stop playing like he is. Let's cross that bridge tomorrow, guys. Let's cross that bridge. Never look back. And head down the trail to the promised land. So that's it. Tomorrow, locking it in. Gamecocks cover the spread. Gamecocks straight up take the win over Arkansas. get a pretty significant upset victory on the road, even though they're only an 8.5 point favorite. Arkansas being, I don't think anybody gives South Carolina a chance. I think South Carolina wins this game tomorrow afternoon. I'm not trolling. I'm not being a homer. The next week against Georgia, I will not be picking South Carolina to win, despite in spite of whatever happens tomorrow in Fayetteville. I will not be picking South Carolina to win next Saturday. However, tomorrow I am picking South Carolina to win this game, 27-23 over the Arkansas Razorbacks. Locking it in, baby. I'll see y'all later. Appreciate it. Peace. I'm out of here. Go Cox. Woo!